Hey, welcome back to part 2 of my talk with John Winstanley. Hi again, John.
Hello.
Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me back.
You are quite welcome. We are continuing our discussion of internet porn and how to protect your kids and teens from being exposed to it. It's a life changer, and we're just going to roll on into it.
Right.
But what are some things that parents and guardians can do to prevent their kids from being exposed to porn online?
Right.
And grandkids.
In my talks, I lay out a system. I called it, it's kind of corny, so bear with me.
Okay.
It's called PLAE, P-L-A-E. So it's kind of a play on words.
Okay.
But in a church setting, the P stands for pray. In a non-church setting, the P stands for plan. Parents need to sit down with their spouse or this family situation, and like I was saying, do an inventory of all the ways the family accesses the internet. Believe it or not, I mean, it's all 14 to 20 devices typical. I mean, smart TVs now, like I said, the game consoles and all that. So take your time, go out to dinner, a nice dinner, and sit down and plan. Sadly, used to be you had to pay to see pornography. Now you have to pay not to see it. There are some programs you can buy that are free, but I have found, and I have lots of information on the website, that the best ones are the paid for use sites.
Yes.
L is learn. Learn about your kids, their habits. I know the teenagers don't talk a lot. So I found that if we as parents are transparent and open, like if we tell our teens about what happened to us in the past, our teens and kids are more probable to open up about what happened to them. You need to learn about their friends and their habits and foster a community within the family of accountability. Which leads me to the A, which is accept. So we're planning, we're learning, and now we're accepting. You need to accept, parents need to accept that this is how it's going to be from now on. We grew up in a different level of openness. Our kids grew up in a world where passwords are being stolen from big corporations on a daily basis. That, like you were saying, they're putting their pictures out there on the internet. My father still freaks out when I put something on Facebook about our family. He said, well, that's private stuff, you know. So each generation has a different level of privacy. So we have to accept that our kids do not understand our level of privacy different from theirs. We have to also accept that our previous maybe sexual or irrational problems do not exclude us from helping our kids out. I have a lot of people that come to me and say, well, I just messed up. I don't feel like I have the right to tell my daughter. But you do. They're looking to us as their parents to help them out. And the final part is E, is engage. Take all the information you've learned about the software, the computers, and put a plan into place. Understanding that that plan has to be changing over time. When you come up with rules for the household for an elementary school kid, when they're in high school, they got to change. And so the engaging part is a continuous loop of the play system. So you're planning and learning, and you're accepting, and you're engaging. There's simple rules, like all TVs are in a public place. All game consoles are in a public place. No cell phones in bedrooms. I have one family, they have a little basket in their home. As soon as everyone comes home, everyone's devices go in the basket. That's neat. And then it's over and it's family time. It's great. Every family has, I have a rule with my son that he hates, but he can only have 5 applications on his phone at any given time. Just if he wants to add an app, he's got to lose an app. So
that somebody can keep track of what's going on.
And that's the other thing, yes. There's got to be a master password keeper, and normally it's the mom of the family. That, you know, if my son wants to install an app, he can't until his mother unlocks the phone. So, and I get this a lot from parents. My teens feels like they're being ostracized. Like, why me? I said, well, why you handle it is the parents are part of the play system.
Yeah.
So to give your teenager or your kid a sense of direction or power, your teen gets to look at your accountability as well.
Right.
Mom, why are you playing Candy Crush 7 hours a day? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's the kickback a little bit, because I get pushback. Yeah. Wait, I'm all about the kids' phone. Yes. Man, you got to stay out of my phone. And I said, no, but that's because then the whole family is accountable to each other. And I think as parents or as a leader of the households, we owe it to our kids to lead the way. Yeah. So yes, your father's phone is part of this too. Your father's laptop is part of this too. And then the guys, Dad, why on he's been all that time? But you can see how if the whole family is accountable to each other with technology, then the chances of, even if they do stumble upon it, and I'm not saying the kids are out there looking for it, I'm just saying that pornography and naughty stuff is so pervasive that it will find them. Right. And when it does find them, mom and dad are right there because they can see it. Yeah. And there's a chance for, I don't know how many kids I weep for, and I've heard so many stories of they came across, one kid, a 12-year-old, was looking for Tony Stark pictures. Tony Stark is Iron Man. Okay. And there's a rule called Rule 34 on the internet. If it exists, there's porn about it. Oh. And there was Iron Man porn.
Did you say the Rule of 34?
I don't know who came up with that. It's on Twitter. Like I said, I'm accountable to my stuff too. I don't really go there, but yeah, Rule 34 is if it exists, there's porn. And then think about that. If you have a little daughter that's obsessed with Frozen, I bet you out there somewhere there is a Frozen YouTube naughty video. That they will just, they're looking at the YouTube, and then on the column on the side they'll have something else. So it's one of those. I don't know if you remember the Matrix movie. Yeah. Neo, he's got the two pills. He gives one like a Alice in Wonderland kind of a situation. That's why I start my talks with. I said, parents, you can take this pill, and you can go back to believing whatever you want to believe. Like your kid will never look at that, all that stuff. Or you can take this pill, and I'm going to pull back the curtain on a world that you wish didn't exist. But it does, and that's why we're talking today too. Yes,
yes, absolutely. And how can, I know that it might be a subject area that might be just almost separate from this, but internet predators, would you recommend basically the same thing?
It's all tied together because internet predators is the kids on the messaging apps, Snapchat and all that. There's a huge amount of people out there wanting to get at your children. Yes. The most popular search term for pornography is teen. And these guys aren't looking for 18, 19-year-olds. They understand that they're going to have kids looking for it. Every month in the state of Georgia, which we're in right now, 7,200 men buy children for sex. We're one of the largest, 7,200, and it's not happening downtown by the airport and city neighborhoods. It's happening outside what we call perimeter, which is all the suburbs. That's where it's happening. And there's a huge effort, and it's all tied together. If there wasn't such a demand, there wouldn't be such a business. There's a huge demand for it. And that's part of the play system. You have to talk to your daughters about what you can't, and a lot of our teenagers, all the teenagers are the same. They're looking for acceptance. They're looking for popularity. Yes. And that's where they have to walk hand in hand. It's a thing. We were on a vacation in Florida. We were walking on the park, and it was one of those. There was two men having a heated argument in the middle of the park. And as I was walking by, you know how you listen, but you don't listen. You act like you're not listening, but you are. Yes. One man said, "I know what you did. You were texting my daughter. I've chased you down here. I've notified the authorities. If you come near my daughter, I will have you arrested." So this man, evidently, who's been trying to get his daughter to come to this park, and instead her father showed up. Wow. So scare tactics. But parents have to understand that's another part of the pill process.
Yes.
That world exists and it's real and it's a huge problem.
Yeah, it's not the world that we grew up in, basically, where your parents talk with you about the birds and the bees, and then you could just kind of go on away from that. Now
I had that talk. And that's why I tell part of the play system is neat, that it puts in the parents' mind that this isn't a long-time thing. You can't just say, here are the birds and the bees, and then take off for the next 10 years. It's a constant learning process. Daytime TV, nighttime TV gives you plenty of opportunity. What I do, because of DVR technology, something happens on TV, I'll push the pause button. I look at my son and I go, what do you think about that? You know,
that makes a lot of sense.
Two girls kissing, or a boyfriend, girlfriend having intercourse, you know, they just met, you know. What's up with that? You know, and don't just let that go, and then he, you know, Kyle goes to bed and he's got that in his head. I want to help him process that. Use it as an opportunity. As parents, we have that big blind spot. Like, my kid just didn't see that, and but we have to acknowledge that our kids are, like you said, what we experience as 16-year-olds, we're now experiencing as 8, 9-year-olds.
Yes, my goodness. So John, how can people get in contact with you?
Really easy.
To have you come out and speak?
Really easy. My website is www.explicit-content.net. Email address info@explicit-content.net. And I also have a very active Facebook page, Twitter. All can be found on the website. I'm available for talks, small group meetings, presentations, business presentations. The business presentation side, majority of the pornography is looked at during the workday. So I want to help businesses come up with an internet policy that can protect the employer and the employee. That's a big thing. That's something we haven't talked about. But it's a huge topic, explicit content. The opposite of explicit is hidden. So our mission is to drag any taboo topic out in the light.
Awesome. So, and that's what we need to do. It's a taboo topic. Internet porn, and especially involving children. If you've got children or grandchildren who could be affected by this, please, please, please subscribe to our YouTube page, Denise Powell, and also share this video with your friends and everybody who you care about. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, John.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Great deal.